Here's an AFN News update on your Thursday. I'm Bronson Woodruff. Israel has launched an airstrike on an apartment in central Beirut. Hezbollah Civil Defense Unit said the strike killed 7 Hezbollah-affiliated civilian first responders. Israel's been pounding areas of the country where the terrorist group has a strong presence since late September, but has rarely struck in the heart of the capital. There was no warning before the strike late Wednesday. The apartment it hit was not far from the United Nations headquarters, the Prime Minister's office, and Parliament. The Lebanese Red Cross, meanwhile, said an Israeli strike wounded 4 of its paramedics and killed a Lebanese army soldier as they were evacuating wounded people from the south. It said the convoy near the village of Taiba, which was accompanied by Lebanese troops, was targeted today, despite coordinating its movements with UN peacekeepers. At least 8 Israeli soldiers were killed in clashes with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, where Israel announced the start of what it says is a limited ground incursion earlier this week. The region was meanwhile bracing for Israeli retaliation following an Iranian ballistic missile attack earlier this week. Some manufacturers and retailers are urging President Biden to invoke a 1947 law as a way to suspend a strike by 45,000 dock workers that has shut down 36 U.S. ports from Maine to Texas. At issue is Section 206 of the Labor Management Retaliations Act of 1947, better known as the Taft-Hartley Act. The law authorizes the president to seek a court order for an 80-day cooling-off period for companies and unions to try to resolve their differences. Despite lobbying by the National Association of Manufacturers and the National Retail Federation, the president has maintained that he has no plans to try to suspend the dock workers' strike against ports on the East and Gulf coasts. William Brucher, a labor relations expert at Rutgers University, notes that Taft-Hartley injunctions are, quote, widely despised, if not universally despised, by labor unions in the United States. And VP Kamala Harris is relying on support from organized labor in her presidential campaign against Donald Trump. Georgia's Republican Attorney General has appealed a judge's ruling that struck down the state's abortion ban. Attorney General Chris Carr's office is asking the Georgia Supreme Court to reinstate the law banning most abortions after the first 6 weeks or so of pregnancy, while the court considers the state's appeal. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney ruled Monday that the ban in place since 2022 violated women's rights to liberty and privacy under Georgia's state constitution. His decision rolled back abortion limits in the state to a prior law that allowed abortions until viability, roughly 22 to 24 weeks into a pregnancy. Some Georgia clinic officials said they would begin accepting patients whose pregnancies are past 6 weeks gestation, though they're aware the ban could be reimposed quickly. Carr's office noted in its notice of appeal filed Tuesday, the case goes straight to Georgia's highest court because it involves a challenge to the constitutionality of a state law. That'll do it for this American Family News update, but by no means is that everything happening in the nation and the world right now. Much more news from a Christian perspective is available at afn.net. I'm Bronson Woodruff.